Hey everyone, Tim here from QBKing77.com here doing a review video on the Nexus 4 wireless charger made by LG. I have it right here in my hand. It is $60 in the Google Play Store plus tax and shipping, depending on where you live, etc. The cost could go up. I paid around $70, so quite a hefty price for a charger. It puts out 1 amp of juice at 5 volts, and it joins a bunch of other Qi enabled wireless chargers. Qi, spelled Qi, is essentially the inductive power standard for wireless charging. Qi actually is, I believe, a Chinese word that kind of translates into life energy or energy flow. You can thank the people over at Wikipedia for those translations. I myself do not speak Chinese. But anyways, it feels, it's pretty small. It's about the size of half a baseball. It's about what it feels like in my hand. Taking a closer look at it, you will see on the front it does say Nexus right there. You also notice it has kind of a couple rings to it, this one right here and then the outer ring. You would think that would be the only thing that does have grip to it, but this entire face does have a grippy feel to it, which does collect dust. I don't know if you guys can notice or not, but there is some dust collection on there already, which is a little unfortunate, but again, that added grip does definitely help when holding the Nexus 4 up, which I'll show in just a second. Flip it on over, you will see micro USB input there. It does come with a pretty standard size micro USB cable. It also comes with the travel outlet here. I do want to make a quick note that the travel outlet is kind of large. It's kind of funny because in comparison to a Samsung one right here, this is the one that came with the Note 2. I believe you'll see it is larger than the one, the Samsung one. It just kind of looked large when I pulled it out of the box for some reason. Just figured I'd point that out. But yeah, so here's the standard size micro USB cable. On the bottom here, you'll see it does get cut off here to stand up. Of course, it also has an outer ring that does have grip as well. Very similar grip that is on the front of the device itself. Anyways, let's go ahead and show the wireless charger in action. You'll see I have my Nexus 4 right here. All you essentially have to do is just drop the device on the orb itself, and you'll see the screen turns on letting you know it's charging. The lock screen does show your percentage as well. One thing I do want to note is that if your phone is off, it will not charge it. That is one of the most interesting things that I noticed. I've tried it, and it doesn't work. What I did was I had it on there, and it was at 70%. And then I shut it off. I had it sit on the charger for about 20 minutes, turned it back on, and it was at 69%. But again, it does not work if your device is off. You do not have to drop it on there vertically. You can also put it on there horizontally, and you'll see it works great. Using the device, it's not going to come loose. It does have a magnet embedded into it that essentially holds the device to the orb itself. It also has those grips, as I mentioned earlier in the video, on the front faceplate of the device. And as I know many of you are going to ask, what about cases, bumpers, etc.? I have a Nexus 4 case right here. It's actually an AM case. Amazon had a sale, it was like $2, so I figured why not just pick one up, grab one. Just a plastic case, and that doesn't have too much thickness to it. But I figured I'd pop that on and test it out and see if the wireless charging does work through the case. So you'll see I have it on there, drop it on there, and it will work just fine, as you can see. So with the case, it works great. Every other way as if it didn't have the case on it as well. So I would not have to, it should work just fine with the official bumper that Google sells. And I know another question everyone's going to have is, will my device work for it? And essentially the answer is only Qi-enabled devices are going to work with this. That being said, no phones such as the Note 2, if I put that on there, you'll see it'll stick to it. The magnet is going to work to it. You'll see I can pick it up. It's not touching the bottom of my desk, but you'll see it also doesn't charge it. So it's not going to charge any of those, the S3, Note 2, any HTC Evo 4G LTE I tried, the Galaxy Nexus is not going to work. It's got to be a Qi-enabled device, which hopefully more will be in the future. If you get a future Nexus phone, maybe if there's a Nexus 5, I don't know if they're going to come out with that. Just kind of an example, if they do come out with that, and it does have compatibility. You don't know if it's going to work with the size of the phone, but hopefully it will stay true, and if you buy this, it's going to work on future Nexus phones. One other note that I wanted to mention, this is kind of a personal opinion here, but it is called a wireless charger because essentially you're charging the device without connecting a wire into your phone. However, you do need a wire for this orb to work. So it does need to be plugged in. It can be plugged into a computer USB, which is what it's doing right now. So you'll see it's working fine plugged into my laptop USB. So it doesn't need to be plugged into that adapter, that specific adapter. But I also wanted to make a note. I don't understand why Google couldn't have thrown in maybe even a 2,000 milliamp hour battery inside of this, so it would hold a 2,000 milliamp hour charge. So if I wanted to bring the orb with me, unplug it, bring it with me, and then just kind of drop it down and then charge my Nexus 4, I could throw it on there and charge it, but I can't because there's no battery in there to hold another charge. So essentially you have to have it plugged in to work. It does not have any other charge other than coming from your, whatever you have it plugged in, your computer, your outlet, etc., and it will not work unless you have it plugged in. And just some final thoughts on it. Here's the box that it came in if you guys wanted to check that out. It works great as a stand. You'll see you can use it really well, and you don't have to worry about it slipping or falling off because it has those nice grips. It has that nice magnet inside that allows you to use the device. As I said, you can use it horizontally as well, so you aren't stuck to using it vertically, whether you're watching a video, etc. So overall, the functionality is fantastic. It works great. As I said, just a couple issues I had with why they couldn't have thrown in a battery in there. That would have been a very nice feature to have added. But again, if you're someone that sits at an office or at a desk all the time and you like having your phone just kind of sitting there charging, or not even necessarily charging, but just kind of sitting there so you can look at it, you get a text message, you can have the screen on all the time, sitting next to your computer. It's a nice addition to a desk. However, it does have that $60 price tag, so $60 is kind of steep. I wouldn't necessarily know. I would say if they threw in a battery, it might be worth it, but $60, unless you're planning on using it every day, all the time, and you like it for the stand, and you like showing off to your friends all the cool new technology. I mean, this wireless charging technology is fantastic. As I said, I wish that they included a battery. I can't stress that enough. I know I've mentioned that a lot, but I don't see why they couldn't have done that. But that's just about it. So again, it is expensive. If you are looking for a wireless charger, this would be a good option. But unless you're planning on using it all the time and you really have functionality for it, you like to impress people, you got the money to pay for it, then go for it. But otherwise, in my opinion, it is a little bit overpriced. That is it. That would be the full review of the Nexus 4 wireless charging orb. You're going to have to let me know what you think, whether you plan on purchasing one of these, what you think about it. Definitely leave a comment. You can subscribe to me as well. I'd really appreciate that if you click the subscribe button. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. All links will be in the description of the video below. And as always, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up.